is Dawn, the Self-Esteem Queen, back with another edition of Ask The SEQ. And if I look tired, it's because I am. Okay. But I have some questions that need to be answered. I'm going to answer a lot of them at one time. I don't know if I'm going to break these up into different videos or the same video, but yeah. Sorry for the delay. I've been a little busy. Alrighty. So this one says, "Hi Dawn, I was molested by my father when I was young. He died some years ago, but his spirit will not relent. I am not able to forgive him for that. I'm not sure how to ask this. How do you deal with it or forgive? I need closure on it." Okay. I will admit that my way of thinking is sort of radical. And I say radical because evidently a lot of people aren't ready to just, do whatever it takes to be happy and healthy. I don't know if you watched the video before. If you didn't, you might want to go back to it. But I think it's like an Ask The SEQ, like on family or something like that. Okay. Of course, it's kind of known that I was molested. I forgive the action of the person. I deal with it by learning the lesson from it. In my case, the lesson was to help other people get over it. And so I went through it. For me, like everything in my life, I go through something, whether it's a bad relationship, whether it's a bad friendship, whether it's a bad partnership, whatever the situation may be. I believe that I go through things because to whom much is given, much is required. I teach other people how to get through situations just like this. If it were me, this guy right here, I would really ask myself, what am I still holding on to? Perhaps, here's the thing. The only closure that anyone owes you is the closure that you give yourself. That means that nobody else owes you closure. Nobody. And we fall into this trap where we get stuck in this place because we don't get closure. I just had that experience with somebody who evidently wanted closure on a friendship that for me didn't really exist. Like, we're associates and then we're friends and then we're BFFs, but we're not nothing from way long ago. But some people need that closure. Why are you mad at me? Why did you do this to me? In your case, you can't ask your dad, why did you molest me? However, what you can do is you can really address the feelings that are within yourself that are not allowing you to have closure, because you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Can he hurt you today? What is holding on to this anger doing for you? It's not hurting him. He's not here. But the pain associated with this act to you, right? It could be so that you could be more sensitive or have empathy for this crowd of people. It could be because there are situations around you that you may have to deal with where somebody is dealing with a similar situation. Either way, you were given that situation and you are probably, even if you don't know it, teaching somebody else through your actions. And so holding on to the anger, you're teaching other people how to hold on to anger, resentment. I ended a friendship not too long ago with this dude that's like I'm sure he means well and he's really a nice guy, but he's addicted to the internet. And not only that, but he had a friend that passed away and he wouldn't let the friend rest in peace because they were like at odds before the guy got killed. And he just wouldn't let the dude rest in peace. Like, every time I saw him, he was talking horrible about this dude. But then in the same breath, like, I really, like he was concerned with how people felt about him in the situation after he had talked mess. But because he still had an ear space to talk mess, he continued to talk mess. You want to let go of the anger. You want to let go of the need to hold on to the opposite of forgiveness, which is non-forgiveness. Sometimes we're so reluctant to forgive someone that we don't realize we're holding on to the opposite of that. What you think about, you bring about. Instead of thinking about dealing with it, because it's not something really that you're dealing with. He's not alive. You're not an active participant at the present time. It's only something that you're dealing with because you want to deal with it. With that being said, forgiveness comes from within. So I can't tell you how I forgave my uncle. All I know is that I set boundaries around my life, and I'm sure that if it were like some dire situation, maybe he would be there for me, maybe not, probably not. But I don't hold any ill will towards him because my life isn't a direct reflection of him in it or out of it. My happiness is not a direct reflection of him in it or out of it. My frustration, my disappointment is interdependent of what happened to me at this time in my life. So maybe the dwelling on it, the seeking closure where there's no closure to be had, these are, for me, the first steps in learning to kind of forgive and move on. Because you're looking for closure, nobody owes you that but you, and you're looking with dealing with something that you're no longer really an active participant in. So it's not something that you really should be dealing with unless you still have some issues surrounding the molestation. And at that point, I would say deal with those issues interdependent of the act. So if it was that, it helped, this situation made you lose trust in men, or you felt you were promiscuous because of it, or you had a string of bad relationships, or you were a self-sabotager, you had bad self-esteem, whatever the situation is, deal with that issue interdependent of, I was molested, because then you become the victim, and that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be the victim in a situation where you're really a survivor. And there's definitely a difference between a victim and a survivor. A survivor is looking for ways, right, to live with something. If I survived a plane crash and my bones were all cracked up, I'd be happy that I survived a plane crash, and I would happily learn to deal with the fact that I was a victim of a terrible accident. Okay? But I wouldn't spend my life talking about the terrible accident, getting mad, asking why did it happen to me? Why did the pilot this or that? All I could say was, I'm living for right now. And right now, you are safe. You are well. And it's about time that you really take the time to deal with whatever is causing you pain and let that go. So that's my answer for that.